Hi guys, welcome to our third video lesson in algebra. Today we'll be looking at factorization of binomial. From previous lesson we recall that binomial expression contains two algebraic terms, e.g. x minus 2y, 4xy minus 7xz, 3a square plus 5b square. Also, in one of our previous lessons in expansion of binomials, where we learned to remove brackets, that is, in a case where we have two open brackets, 6a plus 5b close bracket. Now we said that this step, moving from the left hand side to the right hand side, is what we refer to as expansion, which is the removal of brackets. Now in factorization of binomial, we seek to do the reverse of what we have just done in expansion, with the use of brackets. Now I want us to observe something. Now observe that after factorization of the left hand side, there are two parts to the result. Now the first part, we have 2, which is outside the bracket, and we have 6 plus 5b, which is inside the bracket. Now how do we get to this? Using the same exercise that we have, 12a plus 10b. Now let us consider both terms in the binomial expression, then find their HCF. So we have 12a and we have 10b. The HCF of 12a and 10b would be 2. We looked at HCF in our last lesson. So that's how we arrive at the 2, which is outside the bracket. So the 2 outside the bracket represents the HCF of the two terms that are represented in the binomial expression. Next, to get the content of the brackets, we simply divide our binomial expression by the HCF. So we're going to have 12a divided by 2, and then we're going to have 10b divided by 2. Now 12 divided by 2, we have 6. 2 divided by 10, we have 5. So we write out the remainder, which is 6a plus 5b. Now 6a plus 5b represents what we have inside the bracket. Alright, so this is how we generate the content of the bracket. Therefore, in general, when we are factorizing a binomial expression, say 12a plus 10b, the result would be the HCF outside the bracket and the remainder after dividing by the HCF in the brackets. Alright, so with that we can arrive at this definition of what factorization is. Factorization is writing an expression in terms of its own common factor with the aid of brackets. Alright, so from this point I would want you to take notes. Example, complete the factorization in the following. A. 9x plus 3y equal to 3 with the brackets. B. 8am minus 8bm equal to 8m with the brackets. C. 2pq minus 6q square equal to 2q with the bracket. Now in this example, the HCF has been generated for us. All we need to do is find the remainder for the brackets. That is to find what fits into the brackets. Alright, so let's look at the solutions quickly. A. 9x plus 3y is our binomial, and our common factor is 3. So we simply divide the binomial by the common factor 3. So we're going to have 9x divided by 3 and 3y divided by 3. 3 divides into 9 and we have 3. 3 divides into 3, 1, and we're left with y. So our remainder from that expression would be 3 open brackets 3x plus y. Then in B, we have 8am minus 8bm. Our common factor there is 8m. So we divide the binomial by 8m. So we're going to have 8am divided by 8m minus 8bm divided by 8m. In the first side, 8 will divide 8 and m also will divide m. On the other side, 8 will divide 8 and m also divides m. So we're left with a minus b. So in all, we're going to have 8m open bracket a minus b. Then in the third expression, 2pq minus 6q squared. The common factor there is 2q. So we divide the expression by 2q. We're going to have 2pq divided by 2q minus 6q divided by 2q. Now 2 divides 2 and q divides q. On the other side, 2 divides 6, we have 3, and q divides one of the q's because we have q squared. So it divides one of the q and we're left with q. So our remainder in that expression will be p minus 3q. So in all, we're going to have 2q open brackets p minus 3q close brackets. Alright, example 2 says factorize the following. 1. 12c plus 6d. 2. 3x squared minus x. 3. Minus 18fg minus 12g. Alright, so in this example, here we're expected to find the HCF, then use it to divide the expression so that we can factorize. This is unlike the first example where we're given the HCF, so we could easily do the factorization. But in this case, we're expected to both find the common factor and factorize it. Now, solution to number 1, 12c plus 6d. What would be the HCF between the two terms? That would be 6. So we simply divide the binomial expression by 6. So we have 6 outside the bracket, and then we have 12c over 6 plus 6d over 6. 6 will divide 12 and we have 2. 6 will divide 6 and we have 1, and we're left with d. So in the bracket we're left with 2c plus d. So in the end we're left with 6 open bracket 2c plus d. Number 2, 3x squared minus x. The HCF of 3x squared and x would be x. So we simply write x outside the bracket and then we divide the expression by x. So we're going to have 3x squared divided by x, then we'll have minus x divided by x. So x will divide one of the x on 3x squared and we're left with 3x. Then x will divide x and we're left with 1. So it means that our remainder from this expression will be 3x minus 1. So we're in the end we'll be left with x open bracket 3x minus 1. In number 3 we have minus 18fg minus 12g. Now because both terms in this binomial expression are negative terms, our HCF is going to be minus 6g. Because common to both terms is minus 1. So our HCF is going to carry a minus sign. Then we divide the expression by our HCF, which is minus 6g. So we're going to have minus 18fg divided by minus 6g. Then minus 12g divided by minus 6g. Now on the first side, we have minus will divide minus. And then 6 will divide 18 and we have 3. G will divide the g, and then we're left with f. So we're left with 3f. We're going to have minus divide minus, so it gives us plus. Then 6 will divide 12, will give us 2, and g will divide g. So all we're left with in this case will be 3f plus 2. Our factorized expression will be minus 6g open bracket 3f plus 2. Now let's quickly note this. Because we said factorization is the reverse of expansion, remember we stated that earlier in our lesson, factorization is the reverse of expansion. It means that if we expand the right hand side of this expression, we should obviously arrive back at the same binomial expression that we were given in the question. For example, if we have minus 6g, open bracket, 3f plus 2, and we're expected to expand this part, it should take us back to our binomial expression that we were given initially. So we're going to have minus 6g multiply 3f to give you minus 18fg, then minus 6g multiply 2 to give you minus 12g. The same. Alright, so the same thing happens if we use 3 open bracket 3x minus 1. X will multiply 3x to give you 3x squared. X will multiply minus 1 to give you minus x. Now that's a quick way to check and see if your factorization was proper or it was done in error. So here's a quick exercise for you to do. The exercises have been given in two categories. The first, you're expected to complete the factorization of the following, and in question 2, you're expected to factorize the following. If you have any questions, you can reach me through our usual channel, or just leave a comment in the comment zone. I'll get to read it and respond. See you in our next lesson. Thank you.